All right, this is Creating ComicsGate Live. Welcome, everybody. I am your host, Rotten Glory. I am the host with the most whiskey. And on my show today, I've got the Skits comic crew. I've got Karshinan and Michael here. How are you doing?
What's up, Rotten?
Hello, hello, man. It is great to be here. We are hyped, we are psyched, and we are exactly where we need to be on a Friday evening.
Woo!
Right. That's what I like to hear. I love that video. That's a great, that video really works. I love that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you can play it over and over. It's just 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yeah, hit them
That's
hard
right.
and move them out, man.
That's right. So, you know, we're gonna drop into your comic and go through everything with that. But I do kind of want to get to your elevator pitch, which I think is probably the quickest draw in ComicsGate. I think you have boiled that down to the perfect essence, and I'm really impressed by it. So I want to hear that. I want to hear that elevator pitch.
And go.
Skits is a book about a guy who can't tell the difference between his dreams and reality.
Done. Boom. Click it.
How you like those apples, man?
Damn. That is, I mean, really, it is the quickest draw in CG. And I mean, I've seen some really, John Malin is, I thought was the king of that, but you've knocked him off that pedestal like no problem.
We don't even have to really speed it up. I mean, it literally is a book about a guy who can't tell the difference in his dreams and reality. You can say that slow
elevator
or fast.
hit. You gotta hit them quick and run out of there fast. That's all there is to it.
We talked about this before, and I'm sorry for all the younger generation, but if you grew up in the 80s, you know how it was when people trying to get a music contract.
Dude,
they had to bring in their boombox, put in that tape, and let that producer hear that music by the time they got out the elevator or go into their car. So that is an elevator pitch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys do it right, man. I think when I was on Inkspot show with you guys the last time, that I was literally thinking like, this is Quick and the Dead. This is like, oh man, I am fast. Woo!
Well, and the thing is that people, once you actually show them and give them an example of what an elevator pitch is, then they sit there going, is that it? And it's like, well, is that what you asked for? If you would like the longer version or more, elevated version, we can give that to you.
Right. What you're talking about there is what some people try and do, the Quick and the Dead. Me, when I put mine out there, it's like My Name Is Nobody. I don't know if you're familiar with that Western, but blows any of them away. Go out there and check it out. My Name Is Nobody, one of the best Westerns ever made, man.
Okay, cool.
Wait, not Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, that's a good one. I mean, the Eastwood ones, the spaghetti Westerns were fantastic. I mean, all
So you're on the same page as Brian Kriskow, the Six Gun Gorilla creator. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, those spaghetti Westerns were everything for me.
I'm all about the Black Sheriff.
Yeah. Now, spaghetti Western, that's an Italian? Is that something born out of Italian cinema, or?
Well, here's the thing. Like the Japanese, when they were making their samurai films, they were going to our Western films and saying, "Hey, this is kind of how we want to make them," And they were saying there's these wide expanses of space where people are just kind of walking and doing things, and you don't really know where they're at. They're just in these vast expanses. So the Japanese did their samurai films, and early samurai films based on that. And then the Italians copied the samurai films. So then you get a full loop back to America.
I love it, man. I love it.
And the reason why they're doing it in Italy is because it was cheap.
It was cheap. The production cost was much cheaper than doing it in Hollywood. And also spaghetti westerns was similar to, if you've seen the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's where you had like your favorites who weren't favorites anymore, and they had to maintain, you know, their public image. So they were like, oh, I'm an international star. And it's not like what they're used to.
Yeah. It's basically
what did you guys think of it?
Oh, I thought
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I thought it was really good.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, there were parts
in
it. Yeah, there was parts where I died laughing, you know, like where he busts out the flamethrower. I mean, I was just falling off the couch. I'm like,
I love the Bruce Lee moment.
Oh, I know. I'm like, really? I'm like, that
so
was
good.
But it was awesome. It was
awesome. You know, I don't know that people really understand what he's doing with that kind of stuff. How cathartic, you know, this idea of like that moment not happening. Like,
right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think what he does is so brilliant. His script writing is so masterful.
Yeah,
it's bar none.
I mean, he hit it out of the park when he did the World War II film. What was the name of that one?
Inglorious
Bastards. How can you forget that one? I just came back from Germany.
But I mean, the movie was just fantastic, where they get to kill Hitler, they get to destroy the Nazis. I mean, it was perfect. I mean, there were scenes in that I was just
the casting was just great. He has a knack for casting. A little fun fact for everyone out there, since I'm in the entertainment industry and I've been in it for quite some time, I vote on those awards. So as you can, when everybody's talking about, oh, look at Hollywood voting. Yes, that is my people's. So stop. Because they send us the DVDs in the mail for us to vote on. So we get them early if we don't get to go to a actual live screening with the cast and the crew. So it's no big deal to say, hey, I'm going to go over, you know, to this studio and watch it with, you know, Quentin, or watch it with the cast and crew and like have an actual Q&A with them. That's just part of the profession. Yes, you can fangirl and fanboy and like, oh my God, but then you're in a professional setting where you're like, oh my gosh, I just watched this movie from Quentin and I'm realizing I'm in this position to do so that not everybody can do so. I mean, you're at their AMC or their Regal Theater and it's like, please. I can't do that anymore.
It's a lot of fun when you get to go to the movies and see the movies like 3 months before they come out with the cast and crew. I mean,
and I get to vote on them, so cool. That's a good one. You know? So
Do you think theaters are going to come out the other side of everything that's going on?
Yes.
Do you think they'll survive?
Yes, and it's already happening now where what people understand is that there's deals being made even now because they already have a projection. It's the projection of, hey, we stopped this, but we're still in the contract or we've got to do it now in a quote unquote safer way. There's still auditions going on. A friend of mine, her little girl, her agent was like, hey, I need new headshots right now because I want to send them out. Because I mean, what agents and casting people do, they see the headshot and it literally is just that little square and they're going through thousands of people. And once you hit that square and you look good, I mean, they can cast you. You can do like this. You can do, you know, live tapings to submit for auditions because they want to have things lined up. And that makes it easier. So that way, when we do get out of this, they're not like, oh, now we got to cast and now we got to take time. It's like, nope, done. And it's all good.
Also, it's a great opportunity for people like in comic books right now because Hollywood is just shut down. There's a lot of people just sitting around twiddling their thumbs. Right now is a great opportunity to hit people, get in front of them, talk to them, call them up. I mean, because they're just sitting around in their houses.
They're doing nothing.
It's a great opportunity to really get in there and try and do something for yourself, just like it is with comics right now online. It's like it's a great opportunity because the whole industry's shut down. Let's get in there and get it in front of people that are still hungry for stuff.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they haven't pumped so much fear out there into people. Like, are people going to be comfortable sitting elbow to elbow in a theater anytime soon? Like, are they going to be down for that?
I think
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't extreme. I do. I didn't never want to sit next to anybody in the first place, even before all this. It's
No,
like,
I get that.
I don't need to smell your hot dogs. I don't need to smell your nachos.
Everyone's gonna be sitting on the ends of the aisles, off on the walls and stuff, you know.
No, but real talk. I mean, it's one of those things where, for a theater, a massive theater size of having those people, I mean, I believe that there's going to be, in a sense or in a way that's like, hey, if you can go to a theater and still sit and enjoy yourself, it's just going to happen. Now, the timing is going to be impeccable. Like, you usually have like the older crowd that goes early in the morning, or, you know, the late midnight people, you know, because work purposes, whatever. You're going to see that as part of the movie going experience even more, because they're like, hey, I know these people are here, the theaters are empty. I'll still have my experience during this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus I'm going to go after school hour when the new blah, blah, blah comes out. And then I know it's going to be packed to the brim with, you know, little killer kids. So it's, you know, it's going to be timing. Timing is always going to play a part. And also, it's also going to play a part of who's going to get their movie in the theater and how many theater screens are going to be playing. It may sometimes only be the one show, or it may only play certain times. So it's
you know, they might actually regulate something where they say, okay, we're only going to sell half the seats. That way there can be spaces in between everybody. Or if you're a group of people like husband and wife, you know, you can have spacing on both sides of you and stuff.
I kind of thought about, I've been wondering about that, because, you know. And
people would love it anyway, because they want that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like you were saying, there's a new normal. I don't think, you know, this is one of those events where it's going to be, this is what it was like before this, and this is what it's like after.
Right. It's not like it's a big reveal, like, oh, ta-da! It's like, you already know. Like I was telling, since we are a husband and wife team, and there's so many memes out there about husband and wives, you know, about haircuts and about like quarantining by yourself, and it looks good right now.
It looks good now. It did.
But, you know, there's going to be a time where it's like, I'm okay with sitting a seat apart. As long as you get my Twizzlers, I'm good.
Twizzlers, not red vines.
That's right.
Yes. Twizzlers all the way. I agree.
If you want to talk candy, I'm your girl.
Yeah, she eats a ton of candy, man.
So the one thing about skits, what really attracts me to the project is, you know, they're it's this you know, there are certain things that kind of pull me back to those kind of nostalgic, those feelings of the films I saw when I was younger, like Labyrinth or Secrets of Nim, or, you know, those kind of magical things that if you saw it at the right time in your life, it doesn't, like, no matter how old you are, those films always have that kind of effect on you. They pull you right back in. And I feel like skits, and I think this was done by you intentionally. I think it has that kind of magic to it where it puts me in that state of mind. Can you speak to that a little?
I think what's going on with a lot of stuff being produced right now and over like the last 20 years or more is a lot of the stories that are being written, a lot of movies being done, they're specific to our time, you know? And if you watch them right now, it's like, oh, you got all this stuff that you're getting and you're seeing and you're understanding and little bits. But 20 years from now, all that stuff will be lost with the generations who come to see it later on. Obviously the way that my story was created, there's a whole background to it, but I had to still put it into some sort of logical script and format, you know? So when I did that, I didn't want to rely on what's going on with modern tropes. I didn't want to rely upon what's going on in politics. I didn't want to rely on what's going on in social circles or social things, because I don't care for any of that stuff, to be perfectly honest with you. What I want is timeless stories like what you get with stuff from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. You know, you had stuff like the old Winnie the Pooh books are timeless. You can read them
Everyone loves
anytime.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, right.
Lord of the Rings,
Right.
The Hobbit. These books were written with traditional ideas of trying to get across a moral and idea, and you knew who the good guys and the bad guys were immediately. The characters knew exactly who they were. Mm-hmm. Well, certain characters knew exactly who they were, or other characters had to find themselves. But it was through just a journey. You know, you're just taking a journey. And that's exactly what SKITS is. It's just you're going along on his journey as he finds out who he is.
Instead of a Hobbit's tale, it's a SKITS tale. And
I think that's it. I think that that must be it, is that it doesn't feel confined to any particular time. It's timeless. Mm-hmm. It has that quality. And I think that's why the very moment I came in contact with the art and the concepts behind it, I really wanted to be a part of it in any way I could. And you've done a great job with that.
Thank you. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do, you know, coming out the gate, was saying, hey, this is a comic for everyone, all ages, whatever situations, as well as we wanted to incorporate, hey guys, come follow this with us, come be a part of it with us. So when Michael does some of his series online and stuff like that, it's like when you turn the page and you get the actual book, you're like, oh, I remember that from that day when he showed us how to do this concept art.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember, oh, this was from that page. Oh, that's right, the flags, or oh, he talked about that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It makes you a part of the book without having you just be the purchaser of the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it makes you just a part of the story.
We've like the journey has already started. You started that journey with us already. I like that. You guys are good.
It started a ways back, man. It started a ways back. Actually,
it's marketing.
Today I was looking for some old concept work that I did for SKITS, because I've been working on this for about 20 years. So I got 20 years of backlog of all sorts of work that, you know, of development and drawing out scenes from the story. And I was going through some old stuff, and I found a whole file of like 20, 30 pieces of concept art that I forgot I even had. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I did all this stuff.
Oh my gosh, I was good even then.
It's okay. You know, but I'm actually going to start, you know, releasing some of that stuff, you know.
I love it. Cool.
Showing some of it. It's not, you know, as good as some of the stuff I'm doing right now, but it's still awesome, you know. So
well, it's great. You know, I like that you're willing to do that. You know, it is any creator will tell you it's always tough looking back. You look back at your stuff and it's like, oh no, I can't show this. So I appreciate it.
That's funny you mentioned that, because when, like I mentioned before, being in the entertainment industry out in LA, it's like you can remember when you're like putting together what they call an actor's reel, and you're like, what can I put together? Oh, I can remember when I was just walking by, you know, or I can remember when I had that, like, look at me, I'm right next to Robert De Niro, you know, like with trying to look conspicuous, versus when you finally get your own. So it is a growing up experience too, from where, I mean, it is the whole adage of where you started from, and to appreciate it, because anything in life in general, it's like you have to look back and appreciate, hey, I'm not this same person, or I've changed,
you can never go back home. You know, that's that whole saying, you never go back home.
Oh, I can. My mom was right. But you understand, I mean, so it is that journey and that playfulness of like, wow, I remember when, and then to keep going. Even if you are still walking by going, you know, it's still like, but I'm
look how much better I walk.
Yeah, exactly.
I emote so much more when I'm walking by this time. I'm so proud of myself.
I got limps and knacks in my step and stuff now. I'm like, man, I'm getting old. What the heck's going on? And that's another thing. It's like I'm to a point in my life now where I'm like, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it, and it needs to get done. And I was listening to, I think it was Liam on a past stream of his a couple of days ago, where he was talking about. No, it was Peter Samedi with with Ethan Van Sciver the other night. It might have been last night. But they were talking about where are those people that do stories where they have to do them. You know, it's like there are people who come along and it's like, oh, I want to do this, so let me think up of a book. But then there's other people who are like, I got to do this, so what am I going to do? You know, it's like I have to do this, so how do I get it out there? You know, it's like I'm not going to stop, so I might as well put it in front of people. You know? So that's really what this is. I mean, I've been in the art industry anyway since you know, I was probably about 18, 17. And, you know, I've been doing stuff for years, and it's like I might as well just start getting it out there in front of people. I've done the gallery scene. You know, I've done the gallery scene.
Is this art?
Yeah, you know, I get tired of going to galleries. You know, like I bring my book around. I go to a big, you know, I've shown all over the world in different places, but you go to certain scenes and it's like you bring your book in. I'm like, hey, you know, I just want to. They won't even look at your book. They won't even talk to you. They're like, oh, no. I'm like,
isn't that bizarre?
I know. I'm like, I'm better than the people you got hanging up in here. Just look at my work. And they're like, what's your name? I was like, I've never heard of you. I don't care. And that's like,
how bizarre.
Yeah, that's it. And I think this came up before on Inkspot's show, but it's like, you know, Ashley Wood, you look at a Popbot, an issue of Popbot, and you could just take those pieces. If you put them on a gallery wall outside of the context of a comic book, and people be like, this is fine art. But the moment you put it in that context, it's like people lose the ability to see that it can be both, people. It can exist in both realms at the same time.
This is a multiverse.
Well,
this is a multiverse.
Comic books is the only original American art form. Right. So, I mean, you know, we got to do something with it. All the other art forms, fine art forms and stuff like that has all come from Europe or Japan or, you know, somewhere else. So it's like, this is our own thing. If we don't, the Japanese are kicking our butts with it right now, just like they've done with TVs, cars, everything else in the past, you know, that we created here first. But it's like, you know, we got to get into this stuff. And it's like, we need to take it back and make it our own, you know, make something of it, you know? So that's hopefully what I'm doing.
That's
interesting.
Trying to do
my own thing.
I had not framed it that way before, but I think you might be right. This is
look at those perspectives.
This is the American art form, and we're failing right now. Like the American art form is failing itself right now, and I don't know why. I mean, I don't know what Marvel and DC. I don't know why they feel the need to try and bury this meat. Why?
Wow.
What is it?
Well, they just,
like you're just gonna sing that song over
all they
and
see
over.
They don't have the heart for it. They just see the bottom line, money, right?
I guess so, but that even from that context, it doesn't seem to make sense because it's been proven already what they're doing doesn't make money. Like you're failing at making the money, and you're failing at making an impressive, you know, producing good content for this medium. Like where is the winning happening?
Well, the thing
like
is,
you're failing in every asset, like front of this.
Well, the thing is, they are making money, and it's not the money that we perceive them to do. Because then you're like, okay, this is a multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporation, and it's generating money. I mean, even $1,000, even $1 million is more money than the average person or the average artist is going to make in their lifetime. So they're making money. However, if they want to make money as a continuous cash flow, that's where the problem comes, because they're trying to bring in and try to do different tactics to find out what works and what doesn't. But they are making money. Trust me. It's not zero.
I get that.
Just go back to something that we know about, like 80s cartoons, okay? The 80s cartoons, they weren't there to sell a cartoon and to get that ad revenue on TV. That's not where they made the money. They made the money in selling the toys.
The toys.
Right?
Right.
It's the same thing. It's like, they've got comic books out there. They might not be making a lot of money. They're making money somewhere else. They're making it in movies. They're making it in video games. They're making it in merchandising. That's where they're making the money. So they don't really care about the comics, you know?
That's so short-sighted, though, because the only reason the merchandising and all the other stuff is making money is because it was built on something that was legitimately good. if everything they're producing now doesn't have that foundational, goodness to it, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, they're going to have nothing to sell. Like,
well, it also, I say this a lot. It's, if you've seen that Netflix, the toys that made us or the movies that made us, it's always, it just really depends on the IP, because there's things where the movie was a great success, but they never had a toy first. You know what I mean? Because they were waiting, versus the comic book. They were like, oh yeah, that comic that didn't really make it, but now someone pitched the idea, and now we've got like this movie, and now we've got these toys, versus we've got these toys, but how do we make a movie? But how do we, so it's always, yeah. So sometimes it can be detrimental when it becomes, well, the chicken or the egg first. Did my toy come out first and now we're ready to get into production? Or did the comic come out? It had a small, following, but then now they can now see it on the big screen. I mean, it just all depends on the timing, because one of our favorite episodes is when George Lucas, obviously Star Wars, where they were doing the Jawas. One of the advertising agents was like, I didn't know what to do. One of the Jawas is made from his sock. He took his sock, his brown sock off, put some holes in it, and then George was like, this is great. And he was like, really?
He just needed the character to look a little different. It was starting to look all plain. And he's like, dude, man, this guy needs something. And just bam.
So, I mean, if you really go back and look at that series for the movies that made us or the toys that made us, I mean, this is inventive, like right on the fly. And again, you didn't have Star Wars comics or Star Wars this. You just had this guy who was like, I heard the popularity, and I heard George is hot in the industry, so we're gonna make this. And he's like, well, okay, cool. Can you see my vision? He's like, oh, I got a sock, and that's the Jawas, which is like everyone's favorite. But so you see them in the brown thing. That was indicative to someone just pushing forth.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if you go back to the '80s, all right, the comic book industry was really healthy in the '80s. But here's the thing, there wasn't a lot of new stuff being done by the companies in the 80s. Right. You look at all the big stuff that came out of the 80s comic book wise, you got like the Turtles. Those were individuals, creative individuals that came up with that. It wasn't a company. You look at Rob Liefeld's characters. Everyone knows that Rob Liefeld invented Deadpool, Cable, all those Domino, all those characters because it was him. He was bringing that energy. Mm-hmm. He was bringing that creativity. It wasn't Marvel that did that. That was Rob Liefeld, and everyone knows it. Same thing if you look over at DC. What was the big stuff that came out of the 80s in DC? It was Vertigo. It was Neil Gaiman. It was all that type of stuff that was coming out of DC. It was those creative minds, And today it's the same thing. It's like it's individuals that have a passion to create something. That's where the big stuff is going to come from. So
you just got to get to the door, and you have to have that door open so that way you can, because people are creating stuff like that every day. And like you said, there are no names, or you don't know them because they don't have a big name. There's you just got to get to it.
There's plenty of big creative types out there that want to create new things and would be happy to do it for a Marvel or DC. The problem is they see what's going on over there, and they're just like, maybe,
I had a backpack
myself. I mean, I'm the same way with skits. I've been working on this for a while. I could have pitched it to Image. I could have, and for the last 20 years, but I was just like, it's my thing, and I don't want anyone telling me what to do. And I know if I go over here, they're going to tell me what to do. I know if I go to Image, I'm going to have to pay them $2,500 a month just to have it published, and that's money that at the end of the year, that's $24,000. Why wouldn't I just keep that for myself? That could be my whole year's intake right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I got to promote it anyway, so I might as well do it myself. Yeah. So
I had backpack ideas way before Marvel did.
The magic backpack, man.
You're
a genius.
Backpack ideas way before. Thank you.
Oh man,
nice. So just watching you guys and having the chance to kind of interact with you before, I got the sense that music is kind of a big part of your lives. I think that you guys know quite a bit about music. Even I think your shirt there is probably
Pop
probably
will
band
eat
related.
itself.
What is it?
PWEI. Pop will eat itself.
Okay. And what would you compare
Not
it to?
Takeaway, not the restaurant, not the.
Pop will eat itself is a British band that came out of the 80s British industrial hip hop sound. If that makes any sense. You know, there's a few bands that came out of that, but you know, I don't think Meat Beat Manifesto. He's from England, but he came out. Yeah, he's from I think California, but he was kind of in that same mode where it's like, hey, I'm a white boy, I'm rapping, I'm doing industrial, but with some beats mixed in. You know, so that's kind of what they came out of. You know, and
this is not Snow.
No, it's not that type of stuff.
The first thing I'm going to do when this stream ends is go find their music because
we'll send you
I know based on just what you've talked about that I will probably be right in line with what you guys are passionate about in terms of music.
Well, someone that you will know from Pop Will Eat Itself is Clint Mansell, the composer. He was,
of course.
Yeah, he was in the band. That's where he got his start. In Pop Will Eat Itself.
I love Clint Man. Yeah, of course. And he's
everyone
like,
knows
what's the director? The Aronofsky, right? Aronofsky uses him almost exclusively for his films. So
exactly, yeah. For Pie, for
Requiem for a Dream. Everyone knows that one.
So juicy. So good.
If you didn't know, I'm going to continue. See, so. Because somebody will finally go, oh, I do know that song. It's like, right.
But yeah,
so if you could have a dream team of bands that would I know that would be like if you were making a SKITS like film adaptation or an animated series, what would be the top bands that you would want if you could have anyone, if you could have anything?
This is more of a me question here.
Oh, right, because I'm editing it, so I can edit my music in there.
Well,
so The Cure.
He'll let you have two. He'll let you have two.
Okay.
You get two choices.
Depeche Mode and The Cure.
Okay, for me, it would be Skinny Puppy and Skinny Puppy.
No, bring in somebody else. You can do it.
No, I mean, I already know it's like... you
can bring in Trent if you want to.
Well, you know... 9 Inch Nails was cool up to about Downward Spiral, and then after then it did downward spiral. So
I'm not going to argue that.
You still can use Trent and Atticus. You still can use them.
No, I don't like Trent and Atticus. I mean, it's like I can do 3 notes. I know how to do 3 notes. I can do that myself. You know, I mean, we made the music in house for our trailer. Mm-hmm. I can do 3 notes. I can do beats. Nah.
And shout out to Verse Films. Hey, Verse, thanks so much for that. That video, we worked with that production company, and they made the video for us, used his music, and then so it was really good.
Ghost of Henry, he knows Pop Will Eat Itself.
Yeah.
Give me big fries. Give me Big Mac. Give me fries to go. Oh yeah, that's one of the biggies.
I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to dropping into some of that. Skinny Puppy, obviously one of the greatest. I can't think of a more unique. It's for me. It's almost a genre unto itself. Like there's just nothing else that sounds like Skinny Puppy. Yep. Nothing. Well, nobody's even.
When I said Skinny Puppy for SKITS, what I meant to say was you could take the album Last Rites, and that's
the movie right there.
You could take that whole album and make skits from it.
And we met in LA, and so we met sort of in a goth and I'm sorry.
No, that
was boring how we met. My bad.
My jaw was like popping.
Well, I guess that story you just don't have to wait, kids. I guess you have to wait.
Keep going. We went to Skinny Puppy.
We went to Skinny Puppy concert together, and
you got to see him live?
Oh yeah. But
I've seen
we're more in the industrial goth scene, so we're onto that as well. So
Planet Zymox, yes.
Planet Zymox, misspelled it, but that's okay. We got what you're saying. XY, but that's okay.
I've seen Skinny Puppy 8 times. So
yeah. Nice. Dude.
But anyway,
so what is the experience? What is it like live?
It's loud.
Well,
compared to like compared to the technical like perfection of the
well,
songs, like is it do they get that? Do they hit that?
They do. They have a few live albums out there you can go check out. They're incredible. I mean, I remember someone did a review of one of their live albums. This was in 2005 or something like that. The person who reviewed it basically said, I don't know how a live album can sound so good. Mm-hmm. They were like, wow. It sounds incredible. And it's because of the people behind the music, that make it, so technically sound. But I'll tell you my first experience with Skinny Puppy, okay? I got there maybe 4 hours early. I'm number 3 in line. No, actually, I was there 6 hours early now that I'm thinking about it. So I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting, and eventually they let you in. I get right front stage, and basically it's one of these where it's like, holding on to the stage, getting mushed every which way, but you're right in front. And by the time I was done, just so you know, whenever you go to a concert, you never bring anything you want to lose. That's right. You don't want to lose your shoes or your pants or your shirt, but you got those on you, and you hopefully. Well, mine was like tore here. I'm limping out of there. I didn't realize it, but he does these shows where like there's like blood everywhere. He's always slinging blood. He's got this gun with blood coming out of it. So I leave. And I didn't realize it. It had splashed me across the face. I literally looked like I'd been hit in the head with an axe, And
it was like Blade the movie, like where all the blood comes down.
But this is like Atlanta, Georgia, and I got to go back to Florida. So I'm getting a hotel room. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I stayed late and hung out with the band and stuff like that. And I get in my car. I go to find a hotel. I get to a hotel. They won't let me in. They're like, the guy is like, what's wrong with your face? Oh my God. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, looking in the mirror. I go, man, I'm like covered in blood and he won't let me in. So I go to a pancake plate, not a pancake plate, a Waffle House. They're in Savannah, there's these pancake palaces, but I went to a Waffle House and went to the Waffle House, got all cleaned off, and I went to another hotel and they let me in. But basically it was just like, I was completely wiped out. I was done. I was awesome. But I love it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. If you go, you got to be up front, right up against the stage. There's no other reason to be there.
I mean, you look like a white guy in Georgia. I wouldn't let you in either, right?
It wasn't a big deal concert. It was a Metallica concert, I think, but I made the mistake of ingesting some mushrooms before the concert. And let me tell you, that was a nightmare that I will never forget. I think I still dream about it. It was horrible. It was not fun. I mean,
exit your light.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I wouldn't ever do it again. I'm not sorry I did it because it, tremendous things happened, but I would not want to live through it again. So, nice. But that's really cool, man. Skinny Puppy is a tremendous. I think one of the people connected with Skinny Puppy did like kind of an offshoot solo, more of an instrumental project. What was it called?
No. Okay, so here's the thing. All right, you got Kevin Key. He has like Download. He has a few other little projects here and there, and most of it's all instrumental type stuff. Some of them has like Genesis P. Aldridge will be on some of it. And then Ogre, he does his own thing too, and that band's called Ogre. He's got 4 or 5 albums out now, and he's about to come out with another one. I really like that. So I like everything they do.
And we use that with our other video that we have on our skits page.
No, we didn't use that.
The Ogre? No, we didn't.
No, I pulled samples from all different places and put them together. We didn't use any of their stuff.
But that was the inspiration. That was the inspiration.
Because I use same samples that they use. They can use samples. I can use the samples. Right? So
right. I mean, you would think YouTube bots might disagree. YouTube has gotten so out of control lately. Jesus.
They have been, but it is.
How do you guys feel about like Spangle?
I don't know that. What's Spangle?
Spangle?
Yeah, what's that?
Check out. I guess it's
Is that like
more.
Spanakopita?
It's a little. It's more. Chat, help me out here. It's a little more electronic. I guess it's not. I wouldn't equate it with Skinny Puppy, but who would?
I don't know. I mean, and I used to be
think
a
you
DJ.
might appreciate Spangle. I mean,
Dude,
they put
I
on
know a
an
lot of
interesting
stuff,
show.
You know? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Spangle is really cool.
I mean, I used to be a DJ. He was in a band and stuff. So it's like, we don't know Spangles.
You don't know Spangle?
I know Spanakopita.
You probably think I'm just effing with you right now.
No,
You're like, this guy
no.
just made up a word and said it's a band.
The mushrooms.
Spangle.
The mushrooms again.
No, definitely. I'll definitely go check it out.
You're saying bungle? Bungle? That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, Cornholio. The return of the
Cornholio. That's what you're trying to say. Okay, I got it.
I was really looking forward to talking music a bit with you guys. You did not disappoint. I think that was really fun. So what I'd like to do now with you guys is we're going to do the
green. I like the green.
We're going to do the infamous Rorschach test.
Okay.
And then after that, I want to, let's show some of your artwork off and we'll talk a bit more about the Skits project. Get some people signed up to that email.
Yes,
list.
Please sign up to
email list.
Yeah. So basically what we're going to do, I'm going to show you some ink blots and you guys just whatever comes to mind, whatever it is that it makes you think of, we want to hear that. And then at the end, I'm going to feed it into a supercomputer and we'll get the results.
Thank you,
All right, let's start with this one.
Who goes first? Me or
you go first?
It's up to you
a Mothman.
All right.
I see a nun throwing a bunch of dust in the air. She's like going, "Foof." That's what I'm saying.
Nice. I like that. All right. Let's
whatever.
Whatever.
Do I see a bloody nose?
I see a couple of troll dolls playing patty cake.
Nice. Yeah, I've always for some reason I see bears giving a high five. I don't know why.
I can see that. Yeah.
No, you didn't, but you didn't.
I didn't see that.
I see someone stretching someone's brain.
I see like some
with top hat and tails.
Yeah, well, I see it reminds me of a Dr. Seuss character, and I can't remember which one it is, but it's real thin and it's like stretching out with a bow tie. But there's two of them on both sides there.
Nice.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss. I'm saying I don't know the name of the character from the Dr. Seuss. No, it's not the Who's.
All right, this one always I'm interested in.
Huh.
I see a raccoon like mat that you play in front of a fireplace.
I see a dark alley, man. Like a real dark alley.
Nice. All right. Let's do one more. Let's see what this guy is.
It's like the top view of a brain when you cut open the skull.
Yeah.
I see you really want me to say what I see?
Yeah, of course.
Ooh, let's get ready for
I
this.
see a female girly tie.
Oh, in the pad itself?
I didn't say that. I just said I see female girly tie.
Okay, that's that time of the month.
I didn't say that either. I just said I see female girly tie.
That's it. That's all she said. All right, so let's feed this in to the supercomputer and see what we get kicked out here.
Put him in number 9.
Oh, wait. Oh, look, I'm sorry about the balls. It was a lucky shot, that's all. Wait!
That's literally skits, and I mean, to a T.
That's actually how the comic starts, right there. I mean, it was very, very close down.
You heard this live and exclusive right
there.
We've never said
right.
it.
Yeah, that's kind of how the book starts.
How
right
the book
there,
starts.
We nailed it. We nailed it. See, we dove deep into your mental landscape and got an exclusive. That's how it works. Ink blots, man, they're amazing. I don't know. I always enjoy that. It's always fun just seeing, it. What people can see in that stuff is like I find it fascinating. I don't know that it's actually worthwhile as a psychological profile, but it's fun.
Well, you know what? I think it's kind of weird the way I look at them. I think the way you're supposed to look at them is see a picture in the overall. For some reason, I always get like pictures interacting from the two different sides, and I don't know what that says about me. So.
Well, see, I see the pictures like I have way too many choices to narrow it down. Like I could have given you at least 6 to 10 choices just as quick, just as easy. But I chose the ones that were just, I guess if you look at a hierarchy of where your brain lies, I gave you some funny haha ones versus I could have given you some really mental ones versus I can give you the ones that are really deep and dark. So it's like I'm able to choose which one I wanted to give.
Right.
I get it.
That in and of itself.
Like 4 seconds. You know what I mean?
It's tough just to get one thing, much less multiples.
Yeah.
Well, girls mature faster. So, I mean. But yeah, I was able to get, I can give like 6 to 10 answers all within that 4 seconds, but it's just my brain also processed it where it's like my mind palace, if you're understanding what Sherlock is, a high functioning psychopath. I'm able to now just give you the one that I think would be the best for whatever situation.
Show off.
Nice.
The horn has been tooted. Yes.
We love to toot them horns. All right. So let's delve a little bit deeper into skits. You've got some art here. I think that you wanted to share.
Yeah, let's go over there.
Take a look.
So pump the brakes there, Latte. Pump the brakes.
I know how to squash. I know how to squash the shit when it's about to explode.
So let's just run through a couple of people here. Now this is the Skits crew, the Skits team, and so there they are. Let's go ahead and name them off for you. We've actually released all the names. That was something that we weren't doing, and we were just kind of doing it week over week. But on your left hand side there is MC. MC is a big fella.
Big boy.
All of these are to scale, and MC, he's a big guy, and he does big guy things. So, and then over to your right from MC is Skits. He's in the straight jacket. He's easy to pick out in the lineup.
That was the exclusive we gave you.
Then you got Hattie Mae there in the middle. She's a little spitfire. And then you got Sam next to Hattie Mae. And then you got Josephine on the far end.
The voluptuous one, yes. Yeah. And exclusive, I think we said it before, but Hattie Mae, those are toy destruction devices in her hand. We won't say what type, but they are of the destructive nature in her hand. So, yes.
We haven't said that.
No, that's why I'm giving him an exclusive.
I didn't say you could do that.
I'm editing.
No, it's all right.
Wow. Here comes that bloody white man from Georgia.
Here we go.
Again. That's murder.
So then we also got some concept work. And again, this is concept work, but this is actually stuff that you're going to see in the book. We're going to have a well-rounded range of artwork. If you want to know what the book is really going to look like, you're going to have like stuff from the 90s, 80s, and 90s, like Dave McKean, Kent Williams, Ashley Wood, where you get a whole range of art in the entire book. That's exactly what we're going to give you here. We're going to give you paintings. We're going to give you drawings. We're going to give you inks with hyper color in it. You know, we're just going to bring the whole toolbox, and we're just going to throw it at you. So that's exactly what you're going to get here. And this is a scene from the book, and you know, it's a nice little scene here. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And this right here is what the pencils are going to look like in the book. This is Skits going through a particular part early on in the book, and he's got a torch there. Actually, I just got done coloring this last night.
Looks good.
And it should be really interesting. It's a dark scene.
And if you saw on our IGG page, one of the main things where you can put like your couple of photos is I put discovery. So of course, because it has the torch, and you know, what is he discovering? What is he looking at? Where is he? So it begs the question for that. So little.
I can't
Easter
wait.
eggs.
I can't wait to see the colors on this. And again, it's like your project invokes in me these feelings of
Psychosis.
You know, like Labyrinth. Stuff that I saw back in the day that just made me feel a certain way, like there is actual magic in the world, or
You do have a
it
date
pulled me
going.
so far into that world, like while I was engaged in it, nothing else even existed. And I think that you guys are capturing that with this project, and it just I'm so in love with it.
Well,
Oh, thank you
man.
so
we
much.
really appreciate that.
Thank
We
you
really
so
do.
much.
And again, just one of them scenes where it's like, what is going on here? You know, we don't really know what's going on, but it looks like a little excitement's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I mean, a picture tells a lot of words, and this one's definitely telling a story right here. And this was the first image that we released that people really jumped onto. And this was actually the piece that I was digging through my files to look for. I mean, I got the JPEG of it, but I'm looking for the original. And but it's just a wonderful scene in the book.
And again, take note of those flags. We mentioned it on our
Yeah,
tutorials,
you know,
but to take note.
People keep asking, like, what is it? What is it? I was like, man, I can't tell you, buddy.
No.
You know?
And no, John Malin, they are not forks.
Well, if he sees forks, he can have forks, because I'm
Is that-
perfectly fine.
but
I
they're
must have
red.
missed that. When did this happen? When did he say they
we were on
coming?
his CG Presents show.
Nice.
And you know, and shout out to him for having us on there.
Yep,
It was really
thank you so
kind of
much.
him. You know, we had a really good time.
Nice.
And but yeah, he was like, man, look at them forks, man. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm ready to eat.
Well,
I'm always
he
ready
was
to eat.
referencing someone else made another dish that made it look good, and he was getting hungry, and he goes, and you guys added the forks now, and we're like, but it's a red fork.
Well, he said specifically that he thought that for CG, people should put a fork on a flag. Like, he literally thought that. So when he saw that, he was like, oh, someone actually did it, a fork on a flag. Yeah, well, I don't know where it came from
That's
either.
funny,
It's
dude.
going off
That's
what he
awesome.
said. And this is a scene that people really like. You know, it's an early morning scene. It evokes a lot of emotion. And I'm going to be excited to illustrate this part of the book, you know, to really show people what's going on here.
This is actually one of my favorite pieces here, and a lot of people ask, is it going to be colored? Is it going to be black and white? Is it going to be a
It's
sort
gonna
of
be-
mixed media?
Very, very muted tones because it's an early morning scene, you know.
Yeah.
The sun's not up yet, but it's starting to, you know, get some light in the sky.
Sun's going down, big guy. Sun's going down.
Sun's coming up.
Well, it's down here, but yes.
And you know, I'm really interested in the idea that there's going to be a range of artwork. You know, again, this is a character that cannot differentiate between like the fantasy world and reality.
Mhm.
So I think that is really fitting that there's going to be this range of artwork, and the reader is going to be pulled along just like the character in terms of what is real, what isn't. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's my intention, because I mean, I like a lot of different art styles, and when I see a piece, I kind of see it in many different areas, many different colors, tones, textures, collaging and stuff like that. You know, that's just the way I see it as a fine artist. So I want to bring that to the page, just like all those artists I mentioned earlier that they did in their books.
And my job as an editor is to make sure that everything is kept on track, because you can have,
by everything she means you.
But to make sure that everything goes well, yes, with like the script with it, with the words, as well as the artwork, because you can get so engrossed in the artwork and then miss some key elements. Vice versa, you can have way too many bubbles, and then you're just like, I'm missing something.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
so you need an editor for.
Yeah, ours is very much a page turner. There's not a lot of dialogue heavy scenes. You know, you don't have a lot of. You should be able to flip. Basically, if you go back to what people say in manga books, you know, the way that they created them is that you should be able to turn the page every 3 to 7 seconds. So you should be able to roll through the book that quickly, you know, nice. And it's a major page turner.
Were you guys lucky enough to snag a copy of Narwhal's Earthbound?
Yes.
Yeah, we ordered that. What do we have right now? It's not Earthbound, is it? Was that the name of it? Yeah, okay. I didn't remember the name of it because I got both. I ordered both of them at the same time, and I read it immediately because he had already had it out, so he shipped it out like as soon as I ordered it. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I think that, you know, what you're talking about with the flow, like being able to absorb and just how much he doesn't feel the need to over narrate or do too much prose or dialogue. He lets it flow. The fusion of art with words is so beautiful in what he does, and I'm getting the sense that that's what you're shooting for with this.
Well, you just wait. You hold on to your hats there, Buckaroo.
All right.
You hold on to your hats.
This is actually a piece that we just released, and you put it on your card for the show, so you know, thank you very much. But I just got done coloring this piece as well, and man, let me tell you, it came out like $1 million. We're super excited about this. This is a double page spread for the book, and it's actually I believe it's 30 by 22 is the size of this piece, 30 inches by 22 inches.
And is that traditional? You did this traditionally?
I'm doing it
digital.
Oh no, this is traditional. It's on paper.
All right.
And all the pages have original artwork with them that we're going to be selling during the campaign. So this is an actual piece that you'll be able to buy in the campaign. We got several of these double page spreads that'll be this size, 30 by 22 by 30. So
man, that's intoxicating. I would love to have this on a wall, man.
Oh, you hold on there, Buckaroo. Like I said, hold on to your hats.
Yeah, we'll be giving it to you. And we're going to skip down here to some of the other stuff here and to this, and then we'll leave it on this one for you. How's that?
I like that.
Everyone always likes a good image like that. So.
That's sexy, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll just leave it at that for artwork. We don't need to go through every single piece I got here.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of time.
But I'll tell you what, since you were interested in that piece, just give me one quick.
Is he gonna show it?
I don't know. He better not. No, but thanks, Abel, so much.
Look at that.
Okay, now run away. Man. Run away. Run away.
That is so good.
I'm the marketing person of this team. And
are you saying why wouldn't you want him to show that?
No, we did, and we showed it on the platforms, but there's a method to the madness. Remember, the Rorschach madness.
Oh, right. So, you might want to listen to the lady, sir.
The wife is always right.
That is high quality art on high quality art paper that's going to be sold during the campaign. We got 5 or 6 of those that'll be for sale.
It's absolutely beautiful. I think you'll have really good success with those. I mean,
see, Ghost of Henry gets it.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's exactly what I said. It's pretty big.
Yeah. But I wanted to run it as if it was a campaign that I wanted to back. And for me personally, I love original artwork, you know? And it's like that. So I definitely wanted the campaign to have a lot of original artwork. You know, it's 60 plus pages, the book is. So there's going to be at least 60 pages of original art that you'll actually be able to buy. So, and then we also have lesser tiers too, where I also want to do a tier where you get a book and a sketch, but I didn't want to do the sketch in the book because I have tons of art books over here that I get sketches in and stuff. And I want to take it out and put it on the wall or something like that. So I'm doing them on paper, kind of like how Benny did this too.
Yes.
And shout out to Benny. But I'm going to be doing them on paper. We'll have a lower end tier so people can get original art at a cheaper rate, you know, at a better quality rate or more affordable.
No, just at a
more
tier,
affordable
at a different tier price.
So then that'll be in the book. It'll slide in, and when you get it, you can pull it out. You can hang it up on the wall and do whatever you want with it.
So each tier is going to have a different, obviously.
Well, I really like that. And I like that you're thinking about these things. You know, I like that you're thinking like, you know, yeah, it's great to get a sketch in a book. That's cool. But what if I want to enjoy that sketch? What if
without any creases,
or
if
I want to look at it, or don't even get me started on folding the posters, man. Don't even get me started. It fills me with rage, people.
Rage.
Thanks for the poster that's folded 4 ways that looks like garbage, and I would never want to show anyone ever.
And we're also going to try to do we talked about it before. Hopefully, we're going to have a straight jacket tier. So that's going to be one of our highest forms tiers.
You can get a
we have connections in that world where we're able to actually get an authentic piece for a straight jacket to be shipped to your home. As part of that with like original art and maybe like a little signature sign.
Buy one for your wife, buy one for your husband, you know, buy 2
for your kids, whatever.
Buy one for your kids.
Like my imagination is starting to run wild, like how you could market this tier.
I know there's people out there that are trying to put their kids in cages and stuff. I was reading online. It's like, don't put your kid in a cage, put them in a straitjacket. They can run around and do whatever they want.
You know, the kids
and not get into trouble.
Those like monkey things with a backpack. Again, there was a backpack where you get a pull the tag, put them in a straitjacket. Totally fine.
Yeah, and it's got a big strap on it. You can hold them, tie them to your wrists so they can't get around and touch anything. Like if you're in a china shop, you don't want your kid like touching things. You put them in that straitjacket. Straitjacket. Be fine.
Smash, smash. Yeah.
Smash it.
Oh, I want that. That's so awesome. That's awesome.
Smash.
Guys, this was so much fun. Do you have anything else that you want to get into?
Just to make sure that you sign up for the Indiegogo page. We hit a mark where we're okay with, but we would love to have people, because on first day, we're going to have, especially on the first day, we're going to have some videos.
Are there... If people who are signed up to the email list, is there going to be a special link sent out to those people?
There is going to be a special link sent out.
Tell us about it.
Here's the thing, okay? First day, people who are on the email list, there'll be a discounted tier. It's going to be a special tier, and it's going to be wrapped very special, signed and numbered. It's going to be something that no one else can get. That's going to be really, really awesome. Special artwork, special signed and numbered, the whole 9 yards. You got to get on the mailing list.
And I'll even put my chocolate kiss on it. Each and every page.
I'm telling you, man, it's like I'm doing something really, really special, handmade for
I
people.
love that. So I've put a link to the sign up in the comments. It is also down below on this video. I've got links down below for you guys.
Thank you.
I'm absolutely in love with this project. I'm like Ink Spots. I think maybe I'm in love with you guys as well, just on a personal level.
Again, we can see that.
You have awesome musical taste. You obviously you just have all this range. You're accomplished. You're talented. Who the hell wouldn't love you? Who the hell wouldn't love you guys?
Well, we'll see that in the dollars, the dollar bills, y'all.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, we're hoping that it's gonna be big, and here's why: we have 6 books planned, 6 books completely scripted out, ready to go. We need to make this happen, man. All 60 plus pages in every book. I mean, this is a huge story arc. the first book is a standalone. You can read it just how it is. But then all the books afterwards, if you want to keep getting into it, it's going to be huge, man. Huge.
I have absolute confidence in what you guys are doing. I think it's gonna be one of those day one ragers. I think you're gonna do really well.
Thank you so much. We're really praying for that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we just might as well turn out some stick figures. Totally fine.
I want to thank everybody who has been here, hailed the chat, and thank you, Skits Comics. I've really enjoyed my time with you guys.
Thank you,
Great.
Roxanne.
All
Thanks
right.
for having us, man. This has been fantastic.
And we also want to appreciate you. You've been with us since day one, so we
Yes.
really
Yes.
appreciate you so much.
No
Always
problem.
popping in here and there. So
Yes,
thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you
And
so much.
guys, Atomic Deuce tonight, we're going to get nuts. We're going to go off the rails. We're going to probably make fools of ourselves. So join us for that tonight. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.